It stands for Community Supported Agriculture. And we're talking about agriculture, and you put a little dash in there just to emphasize the culture part. Agribusiness has largely replaced agriculture, and agribusiness is more about, high production, and the bottom line is profit. When we talk about agriculture, it's more about people, beauty, nutrition, and health, and I want to be part of the culture part. Some of the other help we require on this farm, it usually takes 5 or 6 people to run this little farm in summer. And this is also a program where we teach these young people how to farm organically and with draft horses, which is another component of our farm. So this is our crew this year. Most of those kids come to us with a university education. They're urban kids. They want to farm in a serious way. They make great workers. They're well motivated. They work hard. But they also insist that you teach them. You can't get off just working them.
Thank you very much, Ken. Okay, Peter.
Great. Well, it's a real honor to be here today talking to this group. I'm absolutely blown away with the attendance here. You must have done a great job in organizing this. I mean, when we started working in local food issues and systems and so on back in 2001, 2002, there's no way we would have ever had a turnout like this. It's a real testament to the fact that the food system is growing not only in popularity, but just the diversity of the hands that are involved in strengthening the food system. It's not just about the farmers anymore. It's not just about the processing industry. It's about the consumers. It's about everybody. There's a role for everybody in a healthy food system. All sorts of different challenges facing farmers today, whether it be the cost of farming, whether it's the prices that they're getting for their products, whether it's the consolidation of the industry. Farming is still tough. Local food is going to play a very, I think, important role in addressing some of farmers' challenges, but it's not going to serve every farmer's need. But I think still the most damaging thing to our food system is us as Canadian consumers, that we're still addicted to cheap food. And this permeates the whole food system. And this is why we have such a breakdown and a disconnect with food. It's us and the fact that we still think about price. But simply what we're talking about is essentially just trying to put more dollars in farmers' pockets and put more local food in people's mouths. Ourselves, that local food is not just about price. It's about building solid community. Right now, most people are thinking about troubled economic times, and we don't exactly know how the markets will filter out. But I just want to challenge our communities not to forget the role of local food. We want to keep local food as a premium product. We want to keep people identifying a more powerful value in local products. And hopefully, little by little, we can continue to co-brand and work with other stakeholders to really make sure that local food is back on people's plates for good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter, for sharing with us this afternoon. Next up is Jim Clark, who is the Executive Director of the Ontario Cattle Feeders Association.
My grandparents farmed the same farm that we have in our family today, and from that farm, on average, it would feed roughly 21 people. Today, we still farm on that same farm, and if you take our average from that farm today, on average, we'd feed 149 people due to changes in technology. To give the University of Western Ontario a lot of credit, when we come in about the Ontario Corn-Fed Beef Program and talk to Frank and his staff overall, within a week, we're well on the road. All of the product being sourced for the University of Western Ontario, the Ontario Corn-Fed Beef Program, is being sourced out of Norwich Packers in Norwich, Ontario, which is a provincially HACCP-recognized facility here. It's a AA rated Ontario plant. And I would have to say it will be one of the first for universities in Ontario to take that step forward to do that. But at the end of the day, they have to have the HACCP in place. So our first order, and it's one thing that people have to realize when you take on a challenge like the University of Western Ontario, our first order at the University of Western Ontario is 3,000 strip loin steaks, 6 ounces each. 60 prime ribs of beef, complete prime ribs. We have our own all-beef hot dogs. We need 1,000 pounds of hot dogs to fill the first order. You fill that order twice a week. There's 6,000 students eating on those plans, and they will have beef usually 3 times a week, possibly 2 times a day. So when you take a look at what he was saying about purchasing, it's a major move for them. They can't have a truck backing up every 5 minutes to drop something off. They have to have the product on site overall, and I give them a lot of credit for being the first university, because the Ag University is located in Guelph. We didn't have that opportunity with them. The University of Western Ontario was the first one to step forward with us. Beef was one of the first proteins recognized or signed a licensing agreement with Foodland Ontario, and that's one of the key parts of moving forward with the program. And here's one of 3 trailers that run the 401 corridor, thanking Loblaws on behalf of Ontario producers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Don is the Director of Certification with Local Food Plus in Toronto.
Thanks very much. When I started a couple years ago, they asked me to send a bio in, and so I sent in a bio saying Don Mills has been stomped, pecked, bitten, kicked, run over by just about every farm animal that's ever been born. He's combined corn all night, milked cows, combined corn all the next day. He's never washed his hands and ate sandwiches at every meal, and treated his body with total disregard in all weather just to try and cut corners and get things done. They gave that to a creative writer and came up with what you heard was Don Mills was born on a farm and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on local. If you haven't caught on to the fact that local is here to stay and it's an important part of the Ontario food system, just to say, though, that Time Magazine, a big article on local, and that, you're catching the mainstream when the big magazines are talking about local. Sustainable, though, is another part, because our program is not just local, but it's local sustainable. And so similar research, but talking about 92% of consumers identifying sustainability as an issue. We see that through the growth in organics, the growth in fair trade products, eco-labels, and there's a growing list of local labels, and part of that certainly is sustainability, and food is becoming a value-driven market. It's not just about buying calories and energy, it's about buying values, and I think Jim was talking about that when he talks about the corn-fed beef program. There's a set of values they're putting forward there, and that's what people are shopping for. So what values are driving consumers' interest in local sustainable food? Well, support for local farmers. I love it. Every survey that's out there, you look at the top of the list and people say, yes, we do support local farmers. We want to support local farmers. Of course, survey data is just that. We've got to make them actually reach into their pocket and support local farmers, but at least they're thinking about it. Of course, survey data is just that. We've got to make them actually reach into their pocket and support local farmers, but at least they're thinking about it. Freshness and flavor, preserving farmland, greenhouse gas emissions is a concern, environmental and health concerns. They want authentic food experiences and good food stories. That's a big part, and when people are coming out to the farm, that's a big part of what they're looking for. So our program, it's a 3-part program: certification, standards, and monitoring systems. So basically we go out and we certify the farms to a set of sustainable standards. We work with market development, product sourcing, supply chain linkages. We're putting people together with the consumers, the buyers. And the third part is education, marketing, and public relations. And we'll just run through those 3 things. So this is that's our campaign theme, Let's Go the Distance, so our food doesn't have to. That little postcard's on a table at the back there so if you want to grab one of those and just check the website out, it's soon, as Peter said, coming soon. And that's the pitch. Thanks.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.